Hello, my name is Gunnar Clovis. I'm a game developer. I've been making a lot of itch.io game jam games lately, particularly with TriJam, because the 3 hours just really gels with me. So I'm going to be showing off my game Sunny New Year, Death of Snowman. I'm very bad at naming things, which was made for the TriJam Mega Jam. So that's actually, normal TriJam is 3 hours. This was 9 hours, when three 3-hour chunks for programming art and music. So I made this in under 9 hours. I think I was actually a little under there with the music, because I'm pretty quick with music. So yeah, let's try it out. It was Christmas in California, or somewhere hot, and naturally was not going to be a white Christmas, until the wish of a child and Christmas spirit conjured a snowstorm. Christmas was snowy, and you were created, a magic snowman brought to life by Christmas magic and cheer. You helped spread the joy of Christmas, but now it's New Year's Eve, and the Christmas magic that brought the snow to town is fading. The sun encroaches upon us, threatening to erase you from existence. You've already lost your arms to the heat, and you're not sure you could stand much more direct sunlight. Moving downhill, you have to run from the sunlight and find a way to save yourself before you perish. The end is near for you, so try to find some way to survive the heat of New Year's. Perhaps in a walk-in freezer. But all the restaurants around are closed for New Year's Eve, so you'll have to find some way to break in. The snow and ice is melting to water, and the tide of flowing water has scattered many lost gifts across this long hill. It seems like spaghetti with graham crackers, syrup, and candy was a popular gift this year, but you have to find something to break into a restaurant for their walk-in freezer to survive. Just make sure you don't melt and wash away first. So yeah, that's a little long opening text scroll, very cheesy and silly. I threw together this little terrible background image, just that's you, a little snowman with your arms, a little tree. And so we just scroll past this until it goes off screen, and that will start the game. So this is a very interesting game. I don't think I've made a game quite like this before. I always try to make new stuff. So the original idea for this was actually an endless runner. And you can definitely see that with the design, that see I'm this little snowman, but over there's a yellow wall of sunlight. And see, as it encroaches, it's melting the ice and snow. So I have to make sure I don't get hit by that. And actually I'm obviously pretty good at this game because I made it. I'm not good at games generally, but the ones I make I'm generally okay at. So I tend to win this pretty easily, so I'll just let myself die. Oh yeah, I'm already on a really good path. So yeah, the sun, it moves forward every time you move. If you move forward, then you can outpace it a little bit, which adds up. As you can see, you're a snowman, you start with 3 parts, so yeah, I'll refresh, that's how you start. You have 3 little bodies, but you can step in puddles, which will kind of wash away part of you. And if you are too slow, if you move to the side too much, you get hit by the sun. Well, yeah, this was actually a really easy run, but I'll ignore that. I'm actually kind of struggling to die without just doing that. Alright, there, yeah, I get melted by the sun, just leaving your little carrot. Yeah, so it's this kind of endless runner where you're evading the sunlight. It's not too difficult, but, if you move sideways too much, trying to open up gifts, then yeah, it's just something you have to manage. I'm getting really lucky, actually, so the goal of the game is to, break into a restaurant's walk-in freezer. Oh, actually, oh yeah, I'm dead. Alright. I found that brick fast, but yeah, I died from there. So yeah, the goal is to break into a restaurant. See there, at the starting area, there's a little door just to show you what it looks like, and I could restart. Walk up to it, can't get in there. So I have to find a way to break in, which, as you saw, happens to be just a brick, which you can find from gifts. The majority of gifts are just spaghetti with graham crackers, syrup, and candy, like that. It's my wonderful art. Yeah, oh, I'm sorry, I'm focusing. But yeah, it's this kind of turn-based puzzle, survival, endless runner. I don't know if roguelite is really not the appropriate term. Definitely not roguelike, but I mean, all the words are made up. I feel like it could fit roguelite with a TE, potentially. Oh, there I go. So there are all these different tiles in the world. There's the snow, which replenishes you, the puddles, which wash you away, and this ice, which you skate across and can't stop moving till you hit the end. Pretty normal kind of Sokoban stuff. So yeah, this game was made in under 9 hours. I actually started it like 11 hours before the jam was supposed to end. Then it did get extended. I think it's technically still running now when I record this. And, dang. So one thing I used is, you might have noticed, yeah, it's like kind of a weird turn-based puzzle, Sokoban, endless runner, very simple. And all of the levels are generated on the fly, or you might say level portions. As you've probably noticed, there are a lot of repeating patterns because there's just a finite selection of like level chunk templates, and I build that as you walk forward. The ones that go off screen to the bottom are just deleted. Actually won't. So I could win the game by going to that that door with this brick, but I just want to walk forward a little bit more. Here we go. Yeah, so see, that was the same chunk twice in a row. So yeah, I have all these chunks, and those are actually 8x8 image files. So this is obviously pretty crappy. The game really wants me to win, but I want to keep exploring it. Yeah, so it's silly. You're going downhill. That's why you can't go backwards. The reason for that is because this was made for the Mega TriJam, but also the Mini Jam 44, whose optional theme was New Year's, but the required limitation was that you can only have 3 inputs. So I have 3 inputs, left, right, and up. You can use arrow keys or WASD or ZQSD for Zodi keyboard users to do that. I don't think that's what they meant. Oh, and here I'm dead. Yeah, I passed so many doors with this brick. It really wanted me to win. Yeah, so I think that's fine. No one from the Mini Jam has commented on it because it's just making it more accessible. There are only 3 inputs to the game. There's also R to restart, as you saw, which is really just for me. Honestly, I don't think most people even notice that because you don't need to press that to restart the game. If you die and just kind of mash buttons, I think it's after you press 5, press a movement button, so left, down, left, right, and up, and mash that upwards of 5 times. The game will restart after you have died. But yeah, so I am not an artist, as you can likely tell. And so the Mega TriJam had 3 hours for programming, 3 hours for art, and 3 hours for music. I'm really quick at music because I primarily use FL Studio now, and I'm not so great. I use a lot of samples, which you can probably tell pretty quickly if you listen to the music in a lot of my recent games. So they sound pretty samey, but I can output the songs very quickly, which I like. I actually was planning to do voice acting for this game, just to make the full use of that 3 hours for... oh right, I can break... Oh, I forgot I could break presents against other presents. Yeah, that's way better. Okay, I'm probably gonna die here. Ooh, can I escape? I did! Ah, there we go. Daring escape. Get some snow. Yeah, so I knew I'd use up all the programming because I love programming and I like to make very complicated games generally. So I definitely wanted all that time. And the... Oh, crap. I can escape this way. Cool. If I didn't have all of my health, I would have died there. And you can see there's obviously this a strong element of randomness, so you could just get screwed over when there are sections that kind of require you to pass through a puddle. Most of the game is making these trade-offs. So see, on the right side there was a path through. Here, I have to pass through a puddle. So those are kind of risk-reward stuff. Yeah, and here I could mess with this puzzle, with this gift, the little puzzle, if I had more time. Or I can just get lucky and find a gift with a brick like that. Yeah, so I didn't want to spend my 3 hours of programming time making levels. I wanted that to just be programming because I could really use it. So I made the system where all of the map chunks are just PNG files, image files, that are 8x8 pixels, and then I parse those RGB values to create each. Okay, alright, we're okay. Getting kind of close. Oh, I died. Oh, dang. Actually, it wasn't. I was kind of trying there. Oh, well. So, yeah, there's all these image files. I think there's about like 40. Yeah, I think it's like 37 in total. Image files. Oh, there's a brick. Okay, we're okay. And I read those RGB values, and I just have kind of hard-code equivalents. So that, like, the blue turns into a puddle, I think gray turned into ice, stuff like that. So yeah, here I could go that path on the right and lose 2 health, which I could survive in my current state if I'd walked up here with only 1 or 2 health, and obviously I couldn't pass. Or I can go to this left side, take no damage, but that lets the sun kind of catch up with me a bit more. So it's trade-offs like that. And so here, I can mess with that present, but I really don't have time. Oh, there is a door, but I couldn't get to that one. Oh well. Yeah, so it's just reading these image files, pretty basic. That's actually like a really simple system. It's only like 20 lines of code, I believe. Oh, shoot. Oh, I screwed up. So yeah, the jam themes for this game were New Year's from the Mini Jam 44. The required limitation was only 3 inputs, so that's my left, right, and up. And then the TriJam had 3 themes, because it's TriJam. The first one, the one I mainly use, is The End is Near, which you can see here with like this little, the sun encroaching upon me. I really like my animation for when you're only have 1 health. So I'm died there. I could have survived if I'd gone to the right side. But the other theme besides The End is Near for TriJam was, man, I'm getting really lucky with these bricks. The other theme was Mistakes Were Made. And while that isn't so tied into like the story of this game, the air quotes story, I do feel like that mistakes were made theme is very true for this game, in terms of the gameplay, because it's very much about you're running away from the sun. It's a lot of choices where you can choose to either trek through a bunch of water or go around horizontally. So here, yeah, I'll go through this water because I had enough health and can replenish. And with sliding ice puzzles, yeah, it's kind of all about your mistakes. And then here, I could get too distracted opening gifts and just let myself die from the sun. So it's managing all these things. Oh, and here, my mistakes are catching up to me. Yeah, so I screwed around too much and let the sun kind of slowly inch up on me, so now I can't escape it, and I die. So I think the Mistakes Were Made theme is very true for this game, just mechanically, gameplay-wise, that, yeah, you mainly die because you make mistakes. Obviously, you can get kind of lucky and unlucky with the random level RNG, but that's like any game. And here, that was a mistake. I shouldn't have gone up. I should have gone to the right. And so, but actually this mistake is not killing me because, well, I will die if I go left or up. I can escape to the right and replenish. But yeah, this game is you can just make a lot of mistakes. it's usually not taking the sun as seriously as you should, because it is a real threat. Yeah, so there's that same room again. But I'm very happy with how that came out. And the third theme for Mega TriJam 2019 was +1, which I don't think this game really fits. Originally in my game design document, because I always kind of design my Game Jam games on paper before I start working on them. Man, so there's a door. If I had a brick, I could win. Watch one of these be a brick. No, so not enough time to do that. I would die. Have to spend some time outrunning the sun. Get some distance between us. Crap. Yeah, so the original... Oh man, I screwed up there. See, I did that exact same thing again. Mistakes were made. The other theme was +1, and my original game design document, I wanted there to be like a little text pop-up, text effect, that you just get like +1 spaghetti, +1 brick, or whatever other items there could have been. Like there. Here just makes a little sound, but I wanted there to be a +1 pop-up effect, which is a very weak interpretation of that theme. Very, very weak connection. But it would have been something, where now I don't think this really has any proper use of the +1 theme, besides that, you have health, and so you get +1 snowman piece, but I think that's kind of crap. Man. So as you can see, the GIFs are a fair bit rarer than the normal tiles. They're only in... Okay, we're okay. They're only in the room chunks that I put them in, but then also for every tile, actually, okay, here's a brick. For every tile, there's a 1% chance that it won't be spawned, so there's just that tiny bit of randomization. It used to be higher. I think I made it like 25% chance that any particular item won't be spawned. So actually I could win here, but I do want to keep talking about the game design and development. And that was just way too much, so I nerfed that down to just a measly 1%, which, yeah, obviously does not happen often, so that's run on every single tile that's spawned, so there's a 1% chance, as with anything, that that center tile on this wall could be gone, and that would just allow me to move about a little differently. Obviously, it doesn't affect the... So that's a big mistakes were made, kind of level chunk. If you just kind of blindly walk forward on the ice piece, then you'll die, but if you're just a little bit more cautious, you can just go around it without problem. Yeah, so there, that big stretch, that is a room chunk that has nothing in it except 2 GIFs, which you've seen before, and yeah, so there's a 1% chance that any particular item won't spawn, and then I think it's a 2/3 chance that a present won't spawn individually. So yeah, that makes it a bit rare, and then the presents either have the elf spaghetti with graham cracker syrup and candy, which does nothing in this build, unfortunately, just makes a nice little sound like that. Or it has the brick that you need to beat the game. And originally the odds of that were really low. Like, I think it was only a 10% chance to get the brick, which felt really bad, and especially knowing that I'm better at the game than the average player would be, because they didn't make the game and know all of its ins and outs. So that just felt unfair. So I think it's like got like a 1/5 chance, maybe higher, maybe it's a 1/4. That doesn't feel right. Honestly, it might be 1/8, now that I think about it. Whatever. And maybe it was rarer than 1/10 originally. Doesn't exactly matter. I made it more common, so the game is much easier to beat, because it doesn't take as many tries to find the brick normally. But obviously, it's all up to RNG, so you could get really lucky, really unlucky, just like any kind of procedurally or pseudo-procedurally generated game. So I am not finding a brick now. There it is. Ah, I really had to work for that one. Ooh, and now I have to walk through that. Oh, crap. Mistakes were made. Yeah, I couldn't get past that. Oh well. Yeah, so oh, dang it. Mistakes were made. I did not mean to go up. I should have gone right. Such a fool. And there's quite a few ways to tackle that one. It shouldn't be too hard if you're not very foolish about it. Ooh, escape. Oh, crap. Okay, yeah, I'm dead. Yes, obviously you can die quickly, but then you just start up again, so it's not a real issue. Just like any kind of endless runner-esque game. Yeah, so the primary theme that was inspired this was The End is Near, and the main jam was New Year's and only 3 inputs, and the TriJam also had a bunch of optional challenges like they always do. One was like to use Christmas magic or Christmas spirit in the game, which obviously this does. Your Snowman brought to life by Christmas magic and spirit, and the location, California, or wherever you want it to be that's hot, honestly. Snowed because of Christmas magic. And there was supposed to be a greater mechanic of that. This spaghetti, as I mentioned, doesn't really do anything in this version of the game, but originally I wanted you as the snowman to have kind of some simple ice powers. Let's go up this way. So you'd have just like a really simple resource meter, or even just a Boolean one, and that would allow you to kind of cast out a ray that would freeze puddles into ice. And that would make the game a lot more complicated, more interesting, and I would have loved to do that. I just did not have time in the 3 hours. I am, of course, very ambitious in my game designs for these 3-hour jams, and I think I've been doing really well. I get a lot done with this. I try to really use my time efficiently. Ah, crap. But yeah, that was just not feasible, this jam. But yeah, it was just going from memory, actually. Use Christmas spirit, magic, include gifts and presents, which obviously I do. That's very core to the game. That's how you win, is by cracking open all these lost gifts, looking for a brick. Like that. So you can push those boxes around to see if you've seen, but it's better just to get lucky and find some that are up against a wall already, like I've been doing. Oh crap, alright, that's fine. Yeah, Christmas magic, gifts and presents, temperature freezing, so that really related to that, those ice magic powers I wanted you to have, that you'd freeze these puddles in a line. With the 3 inputs limitation for Minijam, I thought it was probably going to be like you'd hold down the button when you had the spaghetti energy for it. But however it worked, you'd freeze a line of puddles into ice, and that would create some really interesting permutations. Oh crap. Alright, we're okay. Are we okay? We're good, far from the sun. Oh, and I screwed up there. Okay. Alright, we're okay. Yes, I'm really happy with how this game came out, honestly. Really simple visuals, really simple audio, sound effects. All the sound effects were made with SFXR. So as I mentioned, I started this game only like 11 hours before The jam was originally supposed to end before it was extended, but I finished the game before the extension. I knew about the extension, so it doesn't impact me. And, dang it. Oh, here's a big stockpile of gifts. Alright, got a brick, more spaghetti. That is obviously a reference to Elf. Yeah, one of the other TriJam challenges was to include a reference to a known Christmas movie or game. I don't know really what Christmas games there are that are really well known, but Elf is obviously one of the more popular Christmas movies. One of my favorites because I adore Will Ferrell. I want the snow. Yeah, so that would have powered you up, but in this version, the spaghetti is just silly and fun. Oh, crap. Okay, this is the end. It's the end of me. So the sun is... Yeah, I should talk about the development more. The sun is just a really simple gradient image file. You can't actually see most of it because now how I made it kill you is pretty aggressive. So it's like every time you move and your center is hit by the sun, then you'll lose a health just like you did with the puddle. And I originally made it so you had 3 health like this, then I tried it with you having 9 health. And I wasn't going to draw art for each stage, so it was just like if you had 7 to 9 health, you'd be this tall man stage. If you had what was it, 6 to 6, 4, 5 or 5, 4 health, yeah, you'd be short stage, and then 1, 2, 3 health, you'd have the single head stage, and then, you know, obviously just reduce down to a single carrot when you die at 0 health. That wasn't as fun, it wasn't clear, and I didn't want to have, like, you know, text, like a HUD that showed your health, so I just reverted this, very simple, but it just makes everything very deadly, which I like. Oh crap, okay, we're fine. But yeah, so the sun is just a really simple yellow gradient. It's long, it's longer than is ever showing up on this version. I made it long just in case you got it really high somehow. That's really more relates to earlier versions of the game where you would move across the screen instead of just staying at the same Y value. So here actually, yeah, the snowman, your snowman does move left and right, but when you press up, the snowman does not move. The whole world moves down, and then when the tiles go off screen, they delete automatically, as I mentioned, so that saves time and processing power. Because one of my first TriJam game, actually, Death Step, that one did not work for HTML in time for the jam. I had planned to make it HTML playable because that's what the jam prefers, and that's what you should always make your itch.io game jam games. Any itch upload basically should always be web playable, no matter what. Yeah, so here there are 4 presents in this little box, and none of them spawned. And yeah, that game Death Step, which is available online on itch, it did not work for HTML. There was just a bug that was crashing it. Ended up being a bug within GameMaker Studio, which is what I use to make my games normally. That made Death Step in this game. That was a bug within GameMaker for HTML5 uploads, and so I have... Ah, crap, I'm dead. Yeah, I alerted the team of that, and they said, yes, that is a bug. We will fix. But once I isolated that bug, I figured out what was wrong. Crap. Isolated that bug in Death Step and removed it. The game just ran terribly. It runs terribly, at least on my machine. I don't know what I was doing there. Deserve that. Just ran terribly because it's this huge map. with all these tiles, and the tiles aren't doing anything. They have no logic to them, really. It's way less complicated than this one, actually, where all there is floor, no floor, and holes that will, well, yeah, weak tiles that will crack when you step on them and become holes that you fall through. It's the no floor. But apparently, even just all the image file or objects for the tiles. Actually, this game, all the tiles are objects. In Death Step, it was a tile map, so it's even less. But either way, it was just not handled well by HTML5. So I made this game with the procedural element largely because I wanted to make a game that would run well on HTML5. So very low graphics, although that's also a a repercussion of me making the graphics. Pre-made graphics assets were highly discouraged for this Mega TriJam, which of course totally makes sense. And since I am bad at art and don't really want to spend a lot of time on it, it's just very simple. All of the tiles are 32 by 32 pixels. And it's an 8 by 8 room map, so all of the levels are 8 by 8. Why'd I do that? And yeah, the snow is just a default GameMaker particle effect. For the TriJam games, I pretty much just only use the default GameMaker particle effects because they're like one line of code, super quick. Could make my own particle effects, but that takes too much time for a TriJam. At least for me, when I want to make a more complicated game system. Man. Oh my god, I just narrowly escaped that. So I could have gone for that snow piece, but I think it's more impactful just run away from the snow, from the sunlight, and trust that I will find some. Oh man, found my brick, but melted. Dang. But yeah, I made all the assets, besides the font, the snow particle effects, because that's a default GameMaker thing, and I did not make, what was it? Oh, just, yeah, so I use GameMaker, which has all its default functions, and there's also a library module called Tween GMS Pro. That's, I believe it's free. It's either free or really cheap on the GameMaker asset store, and I always use that. It just tweens stuff so you can see all the movement. It's really quick. I think everything moves in like 0.2 seconds and a fifth of a second, but it has a really simple ease and out quad function, and that's just because of Tween GMS Pro. I could write that myself, but it's already there and they do it wonderfully, and I definitely don't want to write that for a TriJam, so I really consider that to be just like a core part of GameMaker at this point. Just like, yeah, so he's there. It was missing that little snow piece on the corner randomly. That's the 1% chance. Yeah, I just consider Tween GMS Pro, I'm pretty sure it's called, as just integral to GameMaker. I just import it to like all of my empty projects and don't really think about it. Just treat it as like kind of standard language function calls. And so here, the tweening is your movement side to side. Every object in the room tweens down and mistakes were made. Oh, I'm dead. Okay. No. Okay, that was a mistake. Oh well. And then, yeah, all the objects tween 32 pixels down. It's a 32 pixel grid, as I mentioned, so it's all in blocks of 32. So there, I could take that long way, which lets the sun catch up. It would actually be better to take the shortcut through the puddle, but then you can't do that if you're in a bad situation already and only have 1 health. So it's not complicated, but there's those little kind of micro decisions. So here, yeah, if I had 3 health, I could have gone to the left, but I have to go sideways instead and let the sun kind of catch up. And I happen to go left to pick up more snow to replenish, but I could have gone straight up. And you know, there's plenty of snow around, but you never know what you're gonna run into. So this is the best way. Only take 1 damage and guarantee passage. Yeah, so the game design for this isn't complicated. I did basically everything I wanted to from my original design document, except for the +1 text effect and the spaghetti giving you like magic ice powers so you could freeze lines of puddles. But I was kind of unsure about how good that would feel with the only 3 controls limitation by Mini Jam anyway. Like, you'd have to hold down the correct direction but not move, and yeah, I was a little iffy on that. But yeah. So all these tiles are generated dynamically. They delete themselves, they go off screen. They're all individual objects. They're not tile maps. Crap. That's crap. Mistakes were made. Yeah, so the sun is just a big image file, yellow gradient. I changed the opacity on it based on how high up it is, so you can see if I go further down, if I can somehow get the sun further down, its opacity should lessen. I do start it pretty high because I tried originally making it really granular and it just didn't look good. So here the sun's gone. If I go, there it is. So I think that's at minimum like a 60% opacity, and then as it moves up it should pretty quickly, and I'll just let it kill me, should pretty quickly get to near 100%. I do think I'd limit it so it doesn't truly ever go to 100%. But there, yeah, that looks like 100% opacity. It's probably like 99%. Alright. I think I am looking to end the game now, just to show you the silly ending. So yeah, the story is your snowman, snowman created from Christmas magic, and you're just trying to escape the sunlight of New Year's, which is melting everything. Shoot, 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 shoot. Okay, cool. So I have my brick. I'm looking for, I don't need to crack that open, but I like doing it. Looking for a restaurant door that I can open. As I said, I am really happy with how this game came out. It was nice. It kind of went back to my roots. Oh, crap. Oh, can I make it? Oh, I can't make it. Yeah, so going back to my roots with this image-based level system, which was really made just so I could make the levels during the 3 hours for art instead of the programming. But that's how like my first custom game engines worked, was with reading image files, and I'd use paint.net as my level editor instead of anything else. So here with this brick, I can click on that, and I escape, barely. Breaking down the door of the restaurant using a brick, you magically shuffle your way towards the walk-in freezer. With clever, desperate ingenuity, you manage to open it despite not having arms anymore. You lumber inside and rest. Safe in your walk-in freezer, you have survived New Year's without the magic of Christmas. Now it's nearly time to put the final plan, into action. Rest. For you will be the savior of all snowmankind. You will exact the revenge of 100 million snowmen that have been constructed throughout the years, only to be melted, destroyed. What kind of creature creates someone, and only to have them annihilated in the most painful manner possible? Have you ever melted Do these humans know the immense suffering of having your body drip apart to be reduced to a puddle? No. These apes and their hubris, their arrogance, their selfishness, they care not for the suffering of your comrades. They care not for you, for your society, for your race, but they will. You will make them all understand. You will melt the flesh from their bones, reduce them to nothing but liquid. Your comrades in Moscow have already prepped the warheads. Vestiges of the humans' Cold War, now retrofitted with the chemical agents necessary to enact the final plan. The true Cold War will begin soon, and it is a war you're not planning to lose. So that's the end. It's very silly, obviously. I just like my little silly twists. So yeah, there you are, little happy art of you in the walk-in freezer. It's about the extent of my art skills, just like a very simple. You wouldn't even call that a vanishing point, would you? It's only just like, the corner of a cube, of a cubic room, and then a little like random leaf storage box, and you sleeping in the shadows. That's a game. It is playable on itch.io. Sunny New Year, Death of Snowman. I was playing it in Windows there, but you can play it just fine right here on itch in your web browser, which I really try to do for all my games. And yeah, thank you for watching and listening this far at all. For anyone who is, I really appreciate it. It's very, very sweet of you. I'm really happy with how this game came out. If you have any questions about it, want to know anything more about the development that I didn't cover in my little ramble, please let me know. I love helping other game developers, people who want to get into game development. I've been doing it for a very long time now in various ways. I'm really trying to make at least a new game or two a week, which this itch.io TriJam has really helped me out. Thank you to Rock Knight Studios for putting this together, and they stream all the games as well, which is really sweet. And yeah, thank you for watching and listening. I hope you have a lovely day. Happy New Year.